It is something that I have already taught, and it is something that already been mentioned in Inner Peace Sunday quite some time. Maybe it's a good time to dust it out and bring it back to remind and review everyone over here. Since it is time close to the new year, thus it is something that we are also looking forward to meet our loved ones and family on this season. However, there is something that also need to also recognize as well, that when the present this year is gonna be over, new year is come. That's whenever it is past, something new always replacing with the old one, just like the year that we are about to get over by. Therefore, that's what if it is something not of a good memory. How can we overcome in this? That's the have something that I like to share with you on this wisdom today. However, before we go to this confronting our loss, there is something, some story that I like to share with you. It is not about myself, but it is someone that I heard before in the temple. It is one of the meditator or the regular person who come meditate at our temple. But it turned out something that she learned from the temple is transforming her and changing her life. What is it about? Well, let's take a look first, and then we can analyze from her story with the lesson I'm about to present today. The story of one is one of the lady who was, well, I would say quite young and beautiful. And it just happened that her family, want her to have a happy life and simple life. Therefore, she married her off with a very wealthy man. At first, she seemed to be resist, but as it is, she loved her parents, so she followed and agreed to, marry it off with the older man. But as she lived this older man, not long he passed away, leaving her with a lot of money for her to inherit, and that she has an easy life from there. But as a young woman, cannot leave herself alone. She at the time and the society, so she has to have someone to be beside her so she can feel more secure and safe. So just decide to marry anew. But as for the second time marry, it doesn't seem successful. So that's she divorced. Then, because of her wealth, she lived it on with her life. It attracted another man come into her life, and she agreed to marry him again. But as she lived with her life, she thought she is going to be happy. It just turned out she wasn't. That's result in the third time divorce. But as she get older and older, she begin to feel insecure, even though she has a lot of money. But still, it attract more men to come as well. Thus, she agreed to marry for the last time of her life on the fourth marriage. But this time, it wasn't just like she has been thinking like before. And yes, she fell on marriage, and the money that she has left from her previous husband begin to be decreasing and decreasing, and she has nothing. And by the time she turned 60 years old, she divorced and she has nothing left. Living from the big house, coming to a small house, enough for her to live without, worry. But still, she has nothing left. She have to struggle in order to survive at this age too. So that's all the wealth that she has is gone because of the last husband. Then when she has nothing left, she has no one to rely on. She feels suffer, and she is older too. When she's old, she has no family. She has no son, no daughter to look after her. And everyone in her family, when she has money, they come asking for her help. But when she has nothing, everyone just left and disappear. She has no one to rely on. Yes, grief come into her life. She suffer a lot. But in the end, when there is nothing left, she begin to see the eye of truth, that life is suffer. So she looking for something that makes she feel better. So she come looking for inner peace to meditate. She come to the temple at the time. It wasn't interest in her about meditation yet, but she heard that the temple can, you know, has the monk that can, giving some good sermons. So just want to come and listen to the monk's teaching to ease her pain, to ease her mind. And when she come, the temple taught her how to meditate, and she found peace. Simple, just that. Just for 1 hour meditation, she found she liked it. And when she went back, yes, she liked to meditate, but at her house, it wasn't peaceful. So she has to wake up, and she was old until she couldn't sleep much. So she wake up like 3 in the morning, and she meditate from that time until early morning. And she go to the temple, and she do like this many months, many days, many weeks, many months, and she achieved a very high level of meditation. And so that is how she began to find her true refuge, her true inner peace inside through her practice of meditation. Simple story as that, isn't it? But from this story, let's see what we learn from it when she lost and when she gained. When the sun is set, it rises somewhere else. It's true. Today, right now, it's morning in United States, but it is at night somewhere around the world, from the other side of the world. That's something too. When everything's in our life, whether it's good or bad, is over, something new is bound to come. Just like the lady that I just telling you about in her story. She lose her money. She lose the love of her life. She lose almost pretty much everything, thinking that her life is over. But when she come to find inner peace through the practice of meditation, it's just like the new sunset has shined in her life, and the new chapter for her inner peace also begin. Understand this part. We learn from this fact is that even though everything that we have faced, it may be over, but when the new day comes, it's always new for us to start. So that's nothing is really over as long as we are still living. But we must open our mind to the new possibility that we must find in our life as we live. The beauty of loss in itself, loss or losing something important, also had its own beauty if we know how to look and approaching them. You may find something in you, something that you lost, such as understand that whatever you have gained is impermanent, or nothing is permanent. Understand on this part, it may help you to let go, and it may help you to accept what has been gone is beyond you can fix, but you can start yourself afresh anew. Understand this part, it's not too late to start over. Same thing with our meditation. If it was good in the past, it doesn't mean that it's going to be good in the future. What important now matter is the present. You make yourself become still now, and the result will be good in the future. If you cling on to the past and does not let it go, it becomes expectation. Then you will not get the good result because it becomes the hindrance, not allow you to move on. So, meeting something new in experience in meditation, meeting people, meeting some new experience that await for you in the future is also the beauty in itself when you have lost something. So that's whatever come, whatever passed, Not good to cling on to that. Just as it is, stay with the present or wait for what is to come in the future by doing something good to yourself. Be with the present in this part. Allow yourself to approach for a new and better possibility. So when losing something, the new path is always open for you. If you look from the previous session that I taught about, uh, one of the Buddhist devotees who met the Buddha, her name is Kisa Gotami, a woman who lost her son, looking for a clue or a way to resurrect him until she met the Buddha. Under one condition that the Buddha would help is to bring him the mustard seed. She cannot accept the loss, but after she began to realize that everyone in town losing their loved one just like herself. When she looked for the mustard seed from a family that doesn't have anyone who passed away. When she realized the fact accepted by her own, she can confront the Buddha to start her new chapter in life. After she realized, she began to accept. When she began to accept, she opened her mind to the new possibility, learning from the Buddha that death is unavoidable. It must come to an end to all beings. That's knowledge enough for her mind to accept the truth. Thus attain the inner peace in her life, transform herself to begin a new person, a new game. She learned a new lesson and becomes stronger. Thus open the path to her happiness in life. Thus the new chapter in her life begin again as she begin to open her mind to the new possibility. That's everyone. Sometimes what we lost make you become stronger and wiser, not to repeat the same mistake again, but also to become a new, transform to a new person as well. Thus, do not be afraid to lose something. Do not be afraid to lose something. It is something that we must come. It also become losing something could also become a turning point in your life. Speaking of this, there are many examples in our life we see. Speaking to the famous person, for example, like Steve Jobs, if he doesn't change, if he wasn't get fired from his own company when he was the first time as a CEO in a big company, his ego was so big that he couldn't see himself. But when he was fired, he hurt big time, but he was able to turn back and start to himself a new chapter, become even more famous and more powerful, influence to the whole world right now. Even though he passed away, his legacy still continue and living on. Yes, he has lost big time, far from the same company that he was building by his friend that he invited to come help him manage. A lot of things that he has learned as a lesson. That's that's this is something that is need to be learning. We got some comments. There are something permanent, thing that we don't lose. Well, you could call that you don't lose, but over time, as time goes, you must lose it or parting with it, whether you like it or not. Your family, your friends, the soul, it is something that's identified of you. What is implied in here is the thing in this world, not talking about yourself. Yourself, even though you thought that you won't change, but as time goes, when you learn something new, it becomes the new gain, new lesson, make yourself become experience again too. As time goes, people transform as well. Even though you thought it doesn't change, your soul is changing, is evolving, become wiser or lesser, depend on how you grow in your life. Even though you thought that it is not change, it does change as we grow. Unless you close your mind, you don't want to learn. But little by little, it is begin to adapt to the change as well. That's nothing really permanent. That's how it is. And it's not really yours neither. And it also suffer to cling on, but not to change. That's just how it is in the rule of this world. Okay? As it is, in conclusion, when you are losing something, it feels hurt, it feels lost, but it is not completely over because what you have lost, you will also gain something new as well. Just like your life, you have learned from your mistake. You lose something when you make a mistake, but you learn something new as well, not to repeat the same thing. If you repeat the same thing again, you will also lose it again over and over until you learn it. Thus, whenever we lose something, remember, it is something that we also gain. Come and go is what we experience in our life. But what hurt us most is why we attach to that feeling. This is something by practice of meditation, what would allow you to accept and become transforming into a better person. That's why you confronting your loss. It is something that you learn over time. When you learn over time, you become new person, wiser and easier to accept. Let things be as it is. That is why those who become older, they become wiser from learning from their experience. And still to everyone, when you practice of meditation, the more you practice, the more you're learning from yourself. What you don't change is what you don't learn. For example, when you practice meditation, if you don't observe of what make you become or experience in this practice, next time you come meditate, you will not progress because you do not learn. But when you observe, you accept the change, you adjust and repeat. Eventually, the experience will change and grow. When it grow and grow and grow, this will allow you to become wiser, have better experience in meditation. And in the end, it will transform both body and mind to become a better person who easier find inner peace. We got some Miss GoodQandA, okay. Yes, me too. I lost my uncle and my father. And soon I know everyone around me too will be also parting with me. Even I myself will part to what I have and all the people that I love. Understand this fact. It will keep us to be not, make us not to be careless, motivate us to accept things to come in the future easier. And thus, understand this fact. We also find ourselves to be settled down with our own peace, accepting things as it is, not to make us grieve to over what we have lost. And thus, it allows us to be a wiser person in the future. Well, before we part today, let me share you what I have experienced on this past week. What happened was that last week, I went to visit my aunt in St. Louis, Missouri. It has an arc that is open the gate that opened to the west. All right. What happened in there was that this lady, my aunt just called me and said, my best friend just passed away just in the morning that you come. Can you, do something about that? You are a Buddhist monk. I was like, what? I just come to visit you and you just want me to work as a perform a ceremony, funeral ceremony. Yes, we don't have any monk but you. I was like, all right, I'll just do it. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. But when I went there, one thing I see the people who have lost the loved one. even including my aunt, her best friend, just suddenly come just like that. She just met him like a few weeks ago, and then he just passed away this morning. Everyone in his family, all of a sudden they just start like they just have like family reunion in like Thanksgiving time, expecting for Christmas too. And he just passed away suddenly like that. No one prepared. Big loss for them. But once they see the monk, I don't know what to talk about, but they asked me, say something, 15 minutes. 15 minutes? All right. Well, I look at their face. I tell them one thing, that what my master taught me, reflecting on the dead, helping the dead. After they're learning this, they feel lost. They don't know what to do. So I tell them here, when you are reflecting on the dead, imagine something like this. For example, if you are still living around, you see your family still grieving and losing over you. Will you be able to let go and leave your and move on with your life? You are in a different world now. They just don't know they cannot. So in this time, while you still have chance, doing something good, showing to the death that you are okay. So that way, when you are happy, sending love and kindness to the death, so they can live in peace instead of grieving and lose over the lost one. They cannot overcome grief, but they know what to do now. After that, they send a note to appreciate me that they thank you very much. They know what to do now. They have a lot much to do. That is something that we begin to, open the new path of possibility to your mind to learn, to adapt to the loss and start anew. So hopefully the lesson today, confronting your loss, could be benefit to everyone, even though it wasn't much. But hey, it is something that we should also reflecting upon because New Year is about to come. We should reflect on what we learned and change ourselves in this year. Well, at the very least, I remember one thing. Last year, we hoping that things about the COVID will be better. And now it's still the same and it's getting worse too. So next year it's gonna be the same thing to come. But how will we adapt and accept and living on our life just like we normally do? That is open to the possibility for the next year. So reflecting on yourself, what you have overcome, all right? Yes, I believe your soul is still there, no matter which was, yes, it's still there, but it's become wiser and wiser as you learn, right? Experience, it make you grow. The soul doesn't change, but it learn and it adapt. Well, you call it change, but adapt in a better way. Or if it doesn't learn anything, it's just gonna be lesser. It's like that, but it's there, but it's changing as it grow and grow over time. Right? Thank you, Miss GoodQandA, for exchanging. So thank you very much, everyone. Hopefully, this will be a good lesson to everyone. Since um, just to inform everyone again, Inner Peace Sunday and Buddhist Knowledge this Saturday and Sunday this week and next week will be cancelled. So that will be resumed again on January 8th and 9th. So see you again next time, everyone. Now I would like to hand microphone to Miss Panda.
So to LP, so I think your topic is very, I don't know what to say. I'm quite speechless for your topic today because it's quite like we have to accept things that are going to come in our lives, and I feel like I want to do meditation more and more because I feel like when we practice meditation and we like do it like more frequently, we can accept something or situations that are going to happen in the future like more easier than we don't have experience to practice meditation. So I feel like I want to to do meditation more and more to accept things that going to come, no matter it is good or bad. So we have to balance our mind to accept the situation in the future. And thank you so much, LP, for in mean which way, not visuals. Yeah. Thank you so much, Alfie, for your lesson today. And I think we learned a lot from you. And it's quite interesting and make me feel very, very very happy for joining our last session today, and we'll see each other next year, which is like next month. And I hope everyone will please taking care of your health and stay far away from COVID-19, and now we'll pay respect to our GTM together. Bow, bow, bow. Thank you, everyone. We'll see each other
Photo.
next year. Oh, yeah, I forgot.